Welcome to Bikini Bottom, a place where a yellow sponge flips Krabby Patties by day and jellyfishes by, well, every other day. SpongeBob SquarePants isn't just one of the most iconic cartoons ever. It's a universe packed with characters that we either adore or absolutely can't stand. So today, we're diving deep into the ocean's most loved and most hated residents of Bikini Bottom. From the optimistic sponge who can make a Krabby Patty with his eyes closed, to the sea creatures that make you yell at the screen. This list has it all. Of course, we're starting with the man, the myth, the sponge himself, SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob is the beating heart of Bikini Bottom, known for his endless optimism, quirky personality, and a work ethic that puts most adults to shame. He's the kind of character that radiates pure joy. Whether he's blowing intricate jellyfish bubbles or flipping the perfect Krabby Patty, SpongeBob tackles life with wide-eyed wonder. And maybe just a bit too much energy for Squidward's taste, but that's why fans love him. SpongeBob's positivity is contagious, even when he's unknowingly driving everyone around him crazy. He's the guy who's excited for work on his day off, who turns chores into adventures, and who can make something as simple as a bubble party seem magical.
I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready.
His iconic catchphrases, goofy laugh, and unwavering loyalty to his friends have cemented him as not just the star of the show, but one of the most loved cartoon characters ever. He's the ultimate undersea underdog, and no matter how many times Squidward slams the door in his face, SpongeBob keeps smiling. Love him or, well, love him. SpongeBob is the heart of Bikini Bottom. Every town has that one guy you wish would just disappear. In Bikini Bottom, that guy is Flats the Flounder. Flats made his infamous appearance in the episode The Bully, where he transferred to Mrs. Puff's boating school with one goal. I'm gonna kick SpongeBob's butt. But here's the thing, Flats wasn't funny. He wasn't deep, he wasn't layered, he was just mean. Fans found him unnecessarily aggressive, bringing the kind of real-world schoolyard bullying that didn't vibe with Bikini Bottom's usual goofy energy. And no matter how many times SpongeBob tried to befriend him, Flats stuck to his one-track mission, turning the episode into a weird game of how long can you watch SpongeBob get stalked before it gets uncomfortable. Spoiler alert, not long. His lack of humor, depth, or even a decent reason for hating SpongeBob left fans annoyed rather than entertained. Even in a town full of villains, Flats stands out. Not as a clever bad guy, but as the character everyone wishes SpongeBob would just bubble blast out of town. Flats, maybe it's time to leave the butt-kicking behind and just go jellyfishing instead. Ah, Squidward Tentacles, the most relatable sea creature in Bikini Bottom. When the show first aired, Squidward was supposed to be the grumpy neighbor, the buzzkill, the guy everyone rolled their eyes at. But something funny happened. Fans loved him. Let's be honest, if you're over the age of 16, there's a good chance you've transformed from SpongeBob to Squidward. The man, or squid, just wants to work his dead-end job at the Krusty Krab, enjoy his clarinet, and be left alone. Is that too much to ask? Apparently, yes, especially when SpongeBob and Patrick live right next door. But Squidward isn't just the guy who yells, "SpongeBob, stop!" He's a multi-layered character. He's an artist in his own mind, a musician, kind of, and someone who, deep down, does care. He just doesn't want anyone to know it. Fans relate to his sarcasm, his dry humor, and his struggle between wanting peace and secretly craving connection. Plus, when Squidward does get his rare wins, like in Band Geeks, it's pure magic. So yeah, Squidward may be a grump, but in Bikini Bottom, he's the king of keeping it real. When you think of the villains in SpongeBob SquarePants, you probably picture Plankton, the tiny green mastermind with endless and endlessly failing schemes to steal the Krabby Patty secret formula. But behind every evil genius is a passive-aggressive computer wife who's had enough. Meet Karen Plankton, Plankton's sarcastic AI partner in crime. Or more accurately, partner in constant failure. Karen was designed to help Plankton take over the fast food world, but instead she spends most of her time roasting him harder than a Krabby Patty on the grill. While some fans appreciate Karen's dry wit and deadpan humor, others feel she crosses the line into buzzkill territory. Her constant nagging and eye-rolling turn her from a clever sidekick into, well, that one coworker who thinks they're smarter than everyone else. And let's be real, Plankton already fails enough on his own. He doesn't need a digital Debbie Downer making things worse. Karen's not the worst resident of Bikini Bottom, but her cold, emotionless sarcasm, Yeah, that's enough to land her on the most hated list. Sometimes the quietest characters leave the loudest impact. Enter Gary the Snail, Bikini Bottom's most adorable meowing pet. Gary might not say much beyond his signature meow, but that single sound has become one of the most iconic catchphrases in the entire show. He's SpongeBob's loyal sidekick, his moral compass, and, honestly, probably the smartest character in Bikini Bottom. Gary isn't just a pet, he's family. In episodes like Have You Seen This Snail? Aka the one with Gary Come Home, cue the tears, fans saw just how much SpongeBob and Gary mean to each other. The emotional depth in that episode hit fans right in the feels, showing that even in the zaniest cartoon, heartwarming bonds exist. Plus, Gary's had his fair share of iconic moments. Whether he's entering snail races, meow. Gary, you're a natural. Or proving he's secretly a genius by reading books in his snail bed. And let's be real, Gary's been through it all. SpongeBob's antics, Plankton's schemes, overcooked snail food, he's seen it, he's survived it, and he still meows with love. For a snail that barely speaks, Gary sure knows how to leave a lasting impression. Every town has that one guy who lives just to stir the pot, or in this case, the fryer. And in Bikini Bottom, that guy is Bubble Bass. Introduced in the episode Pickles, Bubble Bass immediately made waves. For all the wrong reasons. His defining moment? Completely gaslighting SpongeBob over a sandwich. He ordered a Krabby Patty, claimed it was missing pickles, and sent SpongeBob into a full-blown existential crisis, all while hiding the pickles under his tongue.
You forgot the pickles!
It was the ultimate troll move. Fans were fuming, not just because he was rude, but because he didn't even like the pickles. He was just being a jerk. Bubble Bass isn't just a one-time villain. He pops up in later episodes, always bringing his signature blend of laziness, smugness, and greasy manipulation. From being overly picky with his food to being generally unpleasant, he's the kind of customer fast food workers dread. And while Bikini Bottom is full of lovable weirdos, Bubble Bass, he's the guy fans love to hate. Moral of the story? Always check under the tongue for hidden pickles. She's tough, she's smart, and she's the only air-breathing mammal in Bikini Bottom. Y'all better tip your hats to Sandy Cheeks. Hailing from Texas, Sandy isn't just the token land critter in the sea. She's Bikini Bottom's resident genius, inventor, and all-around bad. Whether she's karate chopping with SpongeBob, inventing rocket ships, or surviving underwater in her iconic air helmet, Sandy proves that she's a force to be reckoned with. But it's not just her strength that makes her lovable. It's her heart. Sandy's fierce loyalty to her friends and her sense of adventure give her layers that go beyond the stereotypical tough girl trope. Episodes like Survival of the Idiots, you know, the one with Dirty Dan and Pinhead Larry, highlight her hilarious side, while Pressure shows her determination to prove that land creatures can handle the sea. And let's not forget her science skills. She's the brainiac who built a rocket ship and dragged SpongeBob and Patrick into space, because why not? Sandy's blend of brains, brawn, and southern charm make her one of the most beloved characters in the show. Plus, who else could rock an astronaut suit and a flower on their helmet? She's Bikini Bottom's ultimate multitasker. Scientist, athlete, and karate master, all in one squirrely package. Poor Mrs. Puff. She's SpongeBob's long-suffering boating instructor, and the only Bikini Bottom resident who probably has permanent PTSD because of him. But while some fans feel sorry for her, others, not so much. At first glance, Mrs. Puff is the classic overworked teacher, trapped in an endless loop of SpongeBob failing his driving tests. But over time, her constant sighing, eye-rolling, and even occasional aggression made some viewers feel, well, a little less sympathetic. Sure, teaching SpongeBob would make anyone snap, but Mrs. Puff sometimes takes it to another level. In episodes like Demolition Doofus, she actively encourages SpongeBob to crash, on purpose. That's less tough love and more insurance fraud. And while her exasperation is often justified, fans have pointed out that she's quick to lose her temper, making her seem more bitter than funny in later episodes. Some even argue she plays the victim a little too well, despite her own shady behavior. Mrs. Puff walks the thin line between tragic teacher and straight-up menace. And for many fans, she's floated too far into the latter. If Bikini Bottom had a class clown, it would definitely be Patrick Star, the pink, lovable, and utterly clueless best friend we didn't know we needed. Patrick is the kind of guy who could forget how to blink and somehow make it funny. His mix of low IQ wisdom and childlike innocence has given us some of the most iconic moments in cartoon history.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
No, Patrick, mayonnaise is not an instrument.
It's that blend of randomness and pure-heartedness that makes Patrick so loved. He's fiercely loyal to SpongeBob, always down for an adventure, even if he has no idea what's going on 90% of the time. Whether it's jellyfishing, bubble blowing, or accidentally starting underwater riots, Patrick throws himself into everything he does. But what really seals the deal? His occasional bursts of wisdom, accidental of course. Somehow, amid the stupidity, Patrick delivers lines that hit harder than they should. He's like a pink, rock-dwelling philosopher who eats sand. Even when he's being lazy, selfish, or way too competitive, Patrick's charm is impossible to ignore. In the end, Patrick's not just SpongeBob's best friend, he's ours too. Dumb? Absolutely, but lovable? 100%. He's Bikini Bottom's tiniest villain with the biggest ego, Sheldon J. Plankton. And while he's the main antagonist of SpongeBob SquarePants, fans are pretty divided on whether they love to hate him or just plain hate him. Plankton's life mission? Steal the Krabby Patty secret formula, and in over 2 decades, he's failed every single time.
I went to college!
At first, fans enjoyed his evil genius persona, complete with high-tech gadgets, convoluted plots, and sarcastic one-liners, but over time, some viewers felt his character became too one-dimensional. How many failed heist plots can you watch before it gets old? Plus, his relationship with Karen, his supercomputer wife, didn't help his reputation. Between constant bickering and Karen roasting his every move, Plankton often comes off more pathetic than villainous. However, some episodes like Plankton and One Course Meal revealed his lonely, more human side, making fans pity him, at least for a minute. Still, when your main personality trait is I'm evil but bad at it, you're bound to end up on the most hated list, even if it's with a tiny bit of sympathy. Alright, Bikini Bottom fans, now it's your turn. Did we get it right? Do you agree with our picks for the most loved and most hated characters? Or did we leave someone out? Or maybe you think Bubble Bass deserves more hate? If you enjoyed this deep dive into SpongeBob SquarePants, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another show breakdown. And let's keep the conversation going. Drop a comment below and tell us who your favorite or least favorite character is. Alright, stay salty, and we'll see you next time.